Okay, you guys, this next video that I'm going to check out it pertains to Patrice O'Neal, and it was something recommended to me a little while back on my channel. I'd never heard of it. It's this, I can't remember even the name of the channel, something tunes or something, but it's basically this channel, and I don't know if it's only focused on Patrice O'Neal or if it's focused on other people. Excuse me. And it's basically clips taken from, now I got to remember what I was saying before you came in here.
What were you talking about?
Patrice O'Neal, you don't know who he is. I'll think I'll remember it. Okay. I was saying that it's clips taken from his appearances on the Opie and Anthony show, and they've taken the audio and they've animated it. As you can see here, there's, I guess, well, this is supposed to be Patrice on the left. On the right, I don't know who that's supposed to be. I'm only familiar with the name Opie and Anthony. I never really listened to their show. I've heard little bits and pieces of it, clips. I heard portions of the fight that Bill Burr and Patrice got into on the Opie and Anthony show, but I don't know who is Opie and I don't know who's Anthony. I could not pick them out of a photograph. So I'm not sure. But anyway, the title of this one is just called So What? And it's under 3 minutes long, so not too long, but I'm really curious to find out what is going to be the topic of discussion in this. It's been a little bit since I've checked out a Patrice O'Neal video, so I'm kind of getting back into it. I'm not going to consume too much of his material all at once. I spread it out just like Bill Burr. I try to spread out my comedy reactions so that I'm not just focusing on one person all the time and then, end up running through all the material that I can. But anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into this.
Like my mother just now got happy because she's in her 60s, so she's trying to change. But she's miserable too. It's in my blood. I'm just surrounded by misery. My girl's miserable. We had a long talk about how miserable she is, and
really,
and how because we was in the store. She had to buy the Wii for her daughter for Christmas, of course. So we in the store, and it's just, I will say, I have to say this. Just white people are just nicer. You're not better people, but just on the bullshit, just regular bullshit, you're nicer.
No, that's true. No one group of people is, as far as race goes, is better than the other. But I'm not quite sure what he's getting at when he comes to we're nicer on the bullshit. Well, he's going to explain it. So let's hear what he has to say.
On the bullshit. Just regular bullshit. Yeah. Nicer. Just nice people. And then two white people were trying to help her with this Wii thing. And she's like, what's nunchucks? She just says it out loud in the store. What's these nunchucks? And this guy who doesn't work there.
Doing that.
Just with her.
What's these nunchucks?
Yeah, what's Wii nunchucks?
And at first when he said Wii, that she was buying a Wii, I was, when he said, when he said she was buying a Wii, I did not hear. It wasn't clear to me, and I thought he was saying she was buying weed for her daughter. I was like, wait, what? But then I quickly figured out, no, that was not at all what he meant. But that's funny. So she has no idea about the nunchucks. Yeah, I get it.
What's these nunchucks? Yeah, what's Wii nunchucks? And just standing there, some guy that didn't even work there is like, oh, this is this, and why is one black and the other one not black? And he just was helping as if he worked here, and she just went, oh. Then she gets into the counter and the white girl goes, I hear you're buying the Wii. You know that the Mario is great for the Wii. And my girl just looks at her and just, thanks. So we're in a car and I'm looking out the window and I'm just reflecting on us.
Holy
and she goes, you know what? I don't think you like me. I go, so what? Right? but she goes,
what she was looking for.
But she goes, I think you really don't like me. And I just go, you're not likable. and she goes, sometimes I feel so lonely. I go, because you're miserable. You're not a friendly person.
Oh, yeah. I know people like that. So basically, I thought maybe her reaction to these conversations that she was having, and also to the girl that she was talking with behind the counter, I thought her reaction was that she just felt overwhelmed by all this information because she had no clue about the we. But now I'm getting the sense that she was just annoyed because these people were trying to be helpful to her. And, there are some people like that. And I just call them perpetually miserable people. They are miserable and they make everybody around them miserable. And so people don't want to be around them because they're miserable. Because they're just a downer. It's just like this sapping of energy. I'm getting the sense that I guess this is what she was like. I don't know how long he ended up in a relationship with this girl. But yeah, well, he's not holding any. He's not pulling back any punches, is he?
Only I go because you're miserable. You're not a friendly person. We didn't meet under friendly conditions. Me and my girl didn't meet like at the fucking bar. Like, hi,
having a good time.
I met her at a voiceover at a Spike Lee at the 25th hour at a voiceover, and I thought she was a cunt when I said, this cunt. I hate this bitch.
Yeah.
And
why did he end up with her? It's so funny though. I mean, I guess some people who just clash and don't like each other in the beginning, sometimes they end up really working out well together. So I guess I shouldn't question, but part of me does question. If you really detest somebody, why? I don't know. I guess the physical stuff was good. Maybe that was why.
Cunt when I said, this cunt. I hate this bitch.
Yeah.
And when we met, we didn't have no fucking courtship. But then we just ended up together. And a lot of times right now, because we've been together so long, we have square people conversations that I have to close my eyes and look back and go, wait a minute. We didn't have no fucking love affair, bitch. Like, I hated you. And there's parts of you I still hate. But I got to know. I'm the same way. I'm one of those people like, once you get to know Patrice, I'm not a fucking good guy right away. I'm a great guy after
a while, yeah. After years.
I'll say years.
I think I could talk.
So he's a prickly guy. He's prickly. Yeah, there's people like that for sure. There are some people that it takes a bit for you to warm up to. Then there's some people that it's just like, it's not even worth the time and energy to even try to warm up. You know the type. I mean, it's unfortunate that some people are like that. They really do drive people away. I have had a person or two like that in my family, a close relative of mine who was like that. And this person just was really good at making people feel like they had to walk on eggshells around them because nobody wanted to offend this person because, and this person was perpetually unhappy, caused a lot of trouble in the family. Whenever there was any sort of issue that came up in the family, a lot of times this person was kind of at the center of it, or if they weren't, they were making things worse. And consequently, even though this was a close relative of mine, the older I got and the more I realized just what a terrible human being they were in a lot of ways, the less familial emotion I felt for them. And I'm trying not to get too specific. This person has passed, and anybody who's in my family who's watching this, they know exactly who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to, specifically say. But when this person passed away, they passed away like maybe about 2 weeks after one of our first pet rats died. And that pet rat of ours that died, she was a sweetheart. I swear to goodness, she was the sweetest rat we have ever had. I've talked about her before. She would sit on my daughter's shoulder for hours while my daughter was sitting at the table working on the computer. You would pick her up, and the first thing she would do is lick you, and she was just the sweetest, the sweetest. But she didn't live very long. She died at about 9.5 months. I cried more for that little ratty than I ever cried for this other person. In fact, I never cried when this other person passed away. When this person passed away, because that blood connection, that love you're supposed to have with somebody who's that close was just not, that emotion was just not there. And it was the weirdest thing, you guys. I still look back on it, I'm like, wow, that's so strange that I cried for Bella, a little rodent, a little adorable, cute little ratty. And I never cried for this other person, not once. But that's the type of person that we were dealing with in the family. And it was not a good way to be. And I don't personally want to be around someone that's like that. I mean, you know, you're never going to have complete smooth sailing with anybody in your life that's in your circle. There's always going to be little bumps in the road with whoever, good friends, family members, you know, your children, your spouse. There's just always going to be these things that happen, but that's just part of being human. You know, we have these little conflicts and whatever, and then things are good and we continue on. But then there are some people that it's just beyond the normal. It's abnormal the way they act. And I don't like to surround myself with people like that. I don't want to have people dragging my life down. And so I just prefer to separate myself from them emotionally and a lot of times physically. Why would you want to be around somebody who makes you feel miserable? So I get the sense that this is kind of what his girlfriend was like. And maybe in a lot of ways, he openly admits that he's not the easiest guy to get around. I can see why. He's got this personality. He just I agree with a lot of what he says. Obviously, I've watched enough of his videos to feel like I am in pretty much complete agreement with a lot of the things that maybe that he talks about. Like I said, I haven't heard everything. Maybe there's going to be something I don't really agree with him on. So he doesn't rub me wrong because it's easier to get along or not be maybe turned off by people that you have a lot of things in agreement with. But at the same time, there are some people that, though I might agree with them, with their take on things or whatever, sometimes those people are toxic to the point that even I don't, it's just too much of a conflict with them. So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is he admits he's a prickly kind of person. I can see why. I can see why people would get that vibe from him. So I find it interesting that he was drawn to somebody like that as well. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's kind of a miserable person too. Maybe that's what drew him to her. I wonder what happened with their relationship. Maybe somebody out there knows. I'm just curious. I get curious about this sort of stuff. So anyway, okay. I don't have anything else. I feel like I have been rambling on and on over a 2-minute and 45-second video. So I'm going to stop and maybe move on to something else, or maybe I'm going to jump into a little bit of a live stream, just kind of chat a little bit with people. So, okay, guys, later.